Hello everyone, this is Gaurav. Uh, I'm doing my final project as a Smalltalk programming languages. Okay. What is Smalltalk? Smalltalk is an object-oriented, dynamically typed, reflective programming language. Object-oriented and dynamically typed might sound pretty familiar right now, but when the Smalltalk pioneered it, it was unheard of it. Uh, what's the history of Smalltalk? So Smalltalk originated in 1970s. Smalltalk was created as a language to underpin the new world of computing, exemplified by the human-computer symbiosis. So it was for the new world computing experience. Um, who were the developers of Smalltalk? So Smalltalk was developed at the Palo Alto Research Center of Xerox, and one of the main guy was Alan Kay, and the other fellow people that were at the research center were Dan England, Edlin Goldberg, Ted Kahler, Scott Wallace, and other who were working at the research center. Alan Kay was the main person that coined the term object-oriented. He's the father of object-oriented programming. Um, he, um, Alan Kay was also the conceiver of the laptop computers and the modern-day windowing GUI that we use right now. The main idea behind the language was the cells of our body in biology, that multiple tiny computers try to do the one thing. That was the main idea behind it. It was what's the Smalltalk design. So the design was completely done with the object orientation keeping in mind. The design is very uniform and elegant. It doesn't change drastically. The programs in Smalltalk are all about sending messages between the objects. Smalltalk, when they started developing in 1970s, they had a lots of different versions that came out, and each had a year in the back. The Smalltalk 80 was the most stable and mostly used version that's used all around. So what is the basic rules? Smalltalk allows all uppercase, lowercase, 0 to 9 um, characters. It also allows all the displayed special characters: blank, tab, CR, FF, IF. Let's talk about the variables. Variables must be declared before use. The shared variable must begin with the uppercase. The local variable needs to be lowercase. And the reserved words that you can't declare as variables are nil, true, false, self, super, and Smalltalk. Smalltalk has everything as an object, and you only communicate it via sending the messages between the objects. There are no primitives, so it's a typeless variables, no ints, no booleans. It's non-statics. To comment anything in the um, Smalltalk, you need to put in the double comment, double quote, and all the statements are separated by the period at the end. Okay, let's see the basic code of it. Okay, text editor. Okay, so the code that I have done, it's randomly like guessing the number that you selected. uh, it's pretty simple code between 1 to 1000, and it takes maximum of 10 tries. Most likely gonna take 8 to 9 to 10 tries. It's pretty simple, but this is just the basic to understand it. So the small talk, as we all know, everything is an object, and we just passing the messages to one object to another one. Message is always on the right, and object is always on the left. So right here where you see the transcript, transcript is a object or a class in this case, and it's getting a message show colon. So the show colon has the string pick a number between 1 to 100, 1 to 1000, and it will try to guess it. All that string is just one message that will be sent to the transcript. To declare a variable, you need to put it in the two pipes. So it gotta be high, and then the high we are assigning the value of 1000. So the high, low, tries, guess, and responses all are variable. You can declare all at the same time, just keeping the space in between, or you can declare them separately. Using the colon equal, we are assigning the value, the default value to it, and the dot at the end, it's just to, excuse me, it's just to make a end of the statement. You can do the simple math. Right now that we're doing it for the guess, it's getting the high minus low and divided by 2 and adding it to the low. So we are just trying to divide all the guesses in the half. Right here where you see the block, this one is a code that will be run. It is an object that's in the bracket, so it's checking if the high is greater than low and the tries are less than or less than 10. If that thing is true, then do all the code that's in the bracket. So if the while true is the condition that we're going to check, if the front is true, this while high is greater than low, so they both not equal, like there is no other divide that we can do, that we are at the number 10, and the tries are less than equal to 10, then do the code that's in this bracket starting from there ending here. Okay, so what we are doing here is guess colon equal, we are assigning it the value of high and low. High is 1000, low is 1. Every time the first one is going to be 500, and guess string is just storing it as a string value. Right here we are printing the transcript, a show. So the show is the message, transcript is the object. We are passing the message right here that's in the bracket. Semicolon and CR is just for to print that it's end of the line when it's printing. Okay, so the response is next line as taking it as an integer, whatever is entered. If we are responding that it's -1, then it try to guess the higher number. If we responded to the 1, then it try to guess the lower than the digit that it guessed it currently, and then we get a new guess and we stored it to the string and add the tries to the, also add the number of tries to the string. If the response is 0 and high is same as a guess and the low is same as a guess, and if they both are same, if it is true, then it's gonna show this message that your number is that, and it's gonna get the number from the guess string, and it's just starting the code again, and it took that many tries, the try string, and end of the string. And if the try is 10 and the high or low both not equal, that means something went wrong, and we are just trying to print it out that we messed it up. Okay, let's get this one in the action. So the Smalltalk environment that I'm using, it's the open source new Smalltalk. It's one of the widely used because it was free. All the other ones, there are so many other environments that offered the Smalltalk, but they were all big companies and they were charging that times. So the new Smalltalk was one of the favorite. Okay, it's on the desktop. CD desktop. Okay, and to launch a code, you just put GST, GNU Smalltalk, and the file that you want to run. It's the number guess. So it says pick a number between 1 and 1000, and I'll try to guess it in no more than 10 tries. After each guess, enter 0 if it's right, -1 if it needs to guess lower, 1 if it needs to get higher. Okay, so let's see. We guessed the number 349. So for that, it's less than 500, so we need to put a -1 and enter. It says is it 250? No, it needs to be more, so we put a 1. And 375, it's gotta be -1. It gotta be more than 312. The number is 349, just so we remember. It's gotta be more than 349. No, it's not 359. It gotta be lower than that. It's not 351. It gotta be less than that. It's not 347. It gotta be more than that. My guess is 349. Is 349 the right answer? Just put a yes, 0 for the yes. And it says the number is 349 and it took 9 tries, which is correct. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 try. We got the right number. It's pretty basic code just to get you familiar with this really low level Smalltalk syntax. And let's get back. Sorry. Start from the current slide. Okay, so we went through the code. So everything was just passing a message to the object. That was the main thing. Some of the other stuff that that Smalltalk pioneered, that were not heard of before, were the virtual machine, NGIT compilation, the debugging by inspection, hot swapping the running code, the modern IDE. It was the first language to have a IDE, closures, duck typing. It used the model view controller architecture, and it had a test-driven development in agile methodology. So this were the stuff that in 70s or 80s were the Smalltalk that originally started it. Smalltalk is the main language that started all the other. I think my slides got messed up. Yeah, the Smalltalk is the only pure object-oriented language. It never made it to the mainstream, but it is the language that influenced all the object-oriented languages that we know right now. Close, Objective-C or C++, anything, any C, Java, Python, Ruby, they were all influenced by Smalltalk. Um, if you compare Smalltalk with the C++ or Java, C++, let's check it for uniformity. Uniformity, oops, sorry, wrong click. Uniformity is how uniformity is throughout all the code. It's pretty high. We all know Java is okay, but C is pretty low. Documentation value is medium. You can find all the necessary documentation, and it's pretty consistent. In Java, it's pretty high. Reliability is okay. C++ it's a little low, and Java is high on the reliability. Does it support the protected operations? Smalltalk doesn't support the protected operations. Everything is unprotected. C++ does have a protected operations as well as Java. Um, Smalltalk is a single inheritance, so it doesn't support the multiple inheritance. C++ does, and Java doesn't. How efficient are these languages? So Smalltalk is pretty low efficiency. In the main, that's the main reason that killed Smalltalk. It never made it to the um, main mainstream. Java is also pretty low in efficiency, but C++ is pretty highly efficient. But on the other hand, Smalltalk and Java are pretty good. They have their own garbage collection system. And as we all know, C++ doesn't have any garbage collection system. Um, Language complexity, it's Smalltalk is pretty low. It's just the one basic thing that it's everything is an object, and you just pass some messages between the objects. C++ got very complex language. Java compared to C++ is not that complex. In the whole, Smalltalk was the language that started the object orientation. Um, every other language who is just some kind of has taken some kind of inspiration from Smalltalk, but Smalltalk never made it to the mainstream. Um, that's all I have. Thank you everyone for listening. I hope my sound throughout was consistent, and hopefully everybody has a happy holidays. Thank you.